There you go.
Oh, got it. Okay. How the heck are you, Grandpa?
I got this big blob in front of your face right now. This meeting is being recorded. Won't go away.
Is there an option to click got it?
Yeah,
That's what mine was. Click that and then we'll go away.
there you go.
Nice.
Hello.
So how you doing?
Well, better after I got your message. It was a
Nice.
wonderful message. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. You got us all here.
Oh, well.
So what's new? I rewatched the video with Toby, and that
Mhm.
was a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's new since then? What are all your updates?
Well, today is day 9,
Okay.
and there's been no day and no night alike.
Hmm.
Wait, before you guys get into that, can you introduce yourself, Marissa? Because people don't really
Totally.
necessarily know who you are.
Totally. I'm Marissa Williams, the favorite granddaughter. Um,
The most humble.
Amen. My greatest quality. What else? I'm Tully's daughter. Nice. Just graduated. Okay, so enough of that. Now into the updates, yes?
Anyway,
Go for it.
today is day 9 of since the first treatment started. I don't know if you understand, have you heard the details of the treatment?
Nope.
Well, first of all, I had to have a port implanted, and so that the chemo is done through a port on the chest, and it can be there for years, but it's actually the way they infuse the chemicals, and they can also do blood draws and do all the
Oh,
testing out of that port as well, without more arm pricks, they normally do on your arm. So anyway, so the first day involved going into this little private, well, it's a little small hospital room. It's called a short stay room, in which they set up a pump, and then that they infuse the chemicals, and they're on a time clock, and that day there are a total of 400 minutes of the chemical that is injected, and it's in 3 or 4 different types. They all have to be done at in a certain level and all of that. So you just kind of sit there all day and they do that, and then they watch like the blood pressure and that to see if there's any changes in that, and they can adjust the drip or the flow for what it is, and then that goes until that went till late in the day, and then they pull the tubes off that machine and put them on a portable pump, which is a little cartridge thing about, I don't know, 4 by 6 inches or 2 or 3 inches thick. And that's a portable pump that is set to run for 48 hours, a continuous drip. And so then they give you a little fanny pack and you strap it on, whether you want to wear it around your neck or around your waist or whatever.
is it cute?
Oh, it's just so cute. And it's got all these hoses on it. You can shorten the hoses by stuffing them back in the fanny pack or whatever, and then you go home with that. And that's your buddy for those 48 hours. And that is a nuisance. Unbelievable. But anyway, it's like trying to sleep with this, like sleeping with a teddy bear you don't really like. And you get all tangled up in the hoses and all of that. But anyway, and you suffer through that. So that's the first night. That's very, very confusing and all of that. And then it's very essential that the chemicals are induced on that precise time schedule because of the half life in the chemical. chemistry wise, whatever, for that to work. And then alarm goes off at the end of the 48 hours, and you go back to the hospital, and they remove the pump and the tubes and everything, and back up to the plug, and then you're back on your own, and you go back home, and then life begins to change. I'm getting a low battery anyway. And so that's what that was. And then the nights are, they're all different. In fact, different systems, you begin changes that could, you bit and nauseate a little bit, and those kind of things. So sleeping is not easy or whatever. But anyway, but every day is different, and every night is different. So some nights are good sleep, some nights are not. Anyway, but the worst side effect so far has been fatigue. And that's what they said, that you would be very, very fatigued, because this battle now is going on, because the chemical is killing rapidly dividing cells, which include, the cancer itself, but also other cells, as well as there's much of the blood is being affected by the cancer cells. So they give you chemicals that are rebuilding, or helping to rebuild the blood platelets and the parts of the blood. So, and then once that starts, once the chemicals stop, then the battle begins in your body. So all these fights are going on, and anyway, so that's the way it's going.
You feel like you're winning the fight?
Well, still, it just seemed like every day is a different part of the body fighting. One day
Yeah,
it's,
go through some of that. Like what days are different?
well, some days it's you can kind of feel it in the chest, and then kind of feel it in the legs, but always it involves the abdomen. Different parts of the abdomen. Sometimes sometimes you lose. Well, right now there's very often no taste, so no desire to eat, but yet you have to consume copious amounts of water, because it begins to flush out the chemical. As the chemical finishes its work, it needs to be flushed out of the body. So you have to do all that. And so you have to force yourself to do that. And then you actually have to force yourself to do the nutrition. You have to eat, whether or not it, is not pleasant, or whether or not, there's all those kind of things. Today, I actually had 2 meals today. Otherwise, I nibble or whatever, intermittent kind of thing. We've tried some shakes and all that stuff. So that's what they've said. They said that's the way it's going to be. So here we go.
We can get you a water bottle to match your fanny pack.
Oh dear. All I need is a little saddlebag full of goodies.
A whole outfit.
Yeah.
So what are you eating? If you can eat, what do you eat?
Oh, we eat tonight. I had some scalloped potatoes and roast beef and some vegetables, but fruit is good. I like peaches and plums. They're good still right now. They've said that as it goes on, that even the taste of water changes. So whatever that, I don't know what to look forward to.
What would you say your fatigue level is right now?
Oh, it depends, but you kind of wake up tired. And then after you do a bit of exercise, like I tried to walk a mile today, and I didn't go very fast at all, but I was quite tired when I got back. But anyway, so and the other thing that it's such a discouraging thing is that it's every day there's a new thing that you'd like to be interested in the people around you, and interested in what God wants you to accomplish and prayer for people and stuff like that. But there's a new part of the body that demands attention, distracts you. That's what's so discouraging about it, the whole thing. It's always coming back. Well, too. I mean, like you get involved and you want to do things, and all of a sudden your body is demanding this new thing. You better got to pay attention to this particular part of your system as well.
Mm.
And it's discouraging in that regard, and so we just try to overcome it and keep focusing on the word and keep requoting the scriptures and that kind of thing. Just keep looking ahead, in all of that. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's sort of interesting that this whole thing with the stomach and all of that, like I talked to you about last year, this is sort of the 60th anniversary of that.
Wow. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, not. But the whole gastric thing problem, that was the summer, actually this summer in the May or June, I think it was 60 years ago when they had the first surgery on the stomach because there was a polyp in the bottom of the stomach, and apparently they didn't have the technology that they have now where they can do biopsies and they can do all that kind of thing. So they in one sense, they thought it might be cancerous because it had an ulcer on, and so I can remember them, them coming in the hospital and on the day that they were going to do the surgery. And I remember my mom was there. They were very fervent prayer, and then the pastor and some of the deacons in the church actually came and they laid hands on me and prayed and everything that it would not be, a cancer or that it would be healed. And sure enough, then when they got in there, it was benign. And then they closed it up. And then I had anyway, those few months of surgery. But during the next year, that surgery area, because they went in and got the bottom of the stomach, that surgery area ulcered. And we tried to heal it, with meds and everything, and it wouldn't heal. And so then it was the following summer.
I lost you.
Talking to you.
Okay, recording just started again.
All right.
What were we talking about? Do you remember?
So I was talking about the second time around.
Okay.
It ulcered anyway, and then they did a resection of the whole stomach, so there's only half a stomach down there. And so since that time, I've had this awareness every time you eat, so this is the 60th year, and all of a sudden here it comes up again. So,
Wow.
but anyway, it's just another example of the Lord's mercy all that time, to
Yep.
still be here.
Yep. That's good. I remember at my I think it was at my graduation party was when you had pulled me aside to talk with me. Was that it?
Yeah.
And I could maybe recite word for word a lot of what you had said to me. And I'm super thankful for it. And one thing that stuck out a ton was you were talking about taking your medicine every single day and how that became an act of worship for you, to the discipline of like taking care of the temple that the Lord has given you.
Yeah.
And to like let it be a reminder of him, because it's like every day to let it like bring your focus back to him. So
Yep.
I'm curious, are you learning anything new in that sort of way right now with different sorts of treatment and things?
I'm only taking a heart medicine as far as medicine goes.
Yeah.
But during that time, what was happening during that time when I was having those surgeries in my college years, it was a time that the Lord was really working with me on this whole matter of presenting my body as a
Mhm.
living sacrifice. And I asked, I can remember praying and asking him to actually show me the ways in which I can fulfill my service. This is the service that I need to provide to you for what you have provided for me. And that's what I desire to do. And that's, that's been the ongoing course of my life and the direction, that I've gone in, and feel foolish or guilty. He gradually taught me wisdom as to how to, reach others. And it was through those things that you could, like it says, every fulfill and understand the perfect work of God, and understand how it, you be fruitful in every good work. And that's been, the aim of my life. It's not that it's new, but it's very, um, um, it's very rewarding, And I think the
Mhm.
one thing that's most rewarding about this whole sickness thing is that I get so much response from you kids and from the family and all of other Christians that are actually praying for me in this situation. And what that does to encourage me is that you cannot really pray um, for me without you fellowshipping with God.
Mhm.
It's your fellowship. And so, hey, let it be, and
Nice. That's good.
and that's what I really appreciate about this. One of the avenues that I appreciate. I mean, it would be, it's one thing to have the body functioning like you may wish it was functioning, or like it
Mhm.
used to be functioning, but in all of that, there is hope. Um,
Mhm.
and the other thing, about this whole situation is that um, it is what they're terming a curable uh,
Mhm.
cancer, in that there is, the point it may, through therapy, and then it'll be followed probably by a surgery. If it isn't just, I mean, if it isn't destroyed by the chemo, then they will do what's called a Whipple, whatever it's called. But the surgery to remove part of the pancreas, and then they rebuild again those same gastric organs that have already been rebuilt in there. But that's still down the future. But the fact that this is, so I actually went back to one of the doctors today, and because for about 8 weeks when they were doing the testing, I was having these horrible symptoms. They weren't, but I thought were unrelated. I thought they were gastric symptoms. I would have cramps in the stomach and
Mhm.
whatnot. And so I asked him today if we need to be treating this underlying, like I have diverticulitis and the other things on the intestine. If we need to be treating this and not just paying all attention to this COVID, or not the COVID, but the chemicals. Um, and he actually said that those were early symptoms of the cancer. And so
Mhm.
we are actually treating that, because I was afraid that we would go by and treat all of this and come to a place where it was healed, and there would still be this, these other things like these stomach. I it felt like ulcers a little bit in the stomach, and it's and there was a burning, and it's like at one point it feels like there's a hole in the middle of your belly,
Mhm.
and it's just. But I could kill it with Tylenol.
Mhm.
It would stop. And so I thought, well, wait a minute. Am I just getting rid of the pain, or am I not healing this, or whatever? But anyway, he said today it was the cancer. And so they are, it is working on that as well. So that was
Interesting.
quite a comfort. So anyway,
Interesting. So
that's what,
when you go in and get your, is it like an IV type of drip? Or no, it goes
well,
through your
yeah,
body.
it fits right it's an IV needle that fits right in this port that's built actually in my body now. It's under the skin, and then it's connected with a tube up into the vagus nerve under the skin. And so it's a continuous tube, and every once in a while they'll flush it clean to clean it out. But this it's called a port, but it's actually solid silicone, so it can take
Yeah.
hundreds of punctures with the needle without ever wearing out and leaking back out. So, it's sort of an amazing drip. But anyway, then that's what's hooked up, and then you go back and you'll be reconnected next Monday, and then
Hmm.
I'll go through that 6,140 minutes, whatever it is.
Oh, wow.
Of the
So,
drip.
so you said you go in, and how long do you sit in there before they give you the fanny pack to go home?
400 minutes.
So you're in there for that much time, and then for the
Yeah.
next 2 days you have the fanny pack?
Yeah,
Okay.
a day and a half. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
But it's a total of all those minutes, and it's on that clock schedule because the chemical half-life of the chemistry of these chemicals is
Yeah.
working with. So
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you go every Monday.
every other Monday, 2 weeks.
Every other
The
Monday.
cycle is 2 weeks. So
So this will be your second time back.
yeah, no, first time back.
First time back. Yeah,
went-
second.
There's only I told her the day I was in there, there's only the one first time. She said, yeah, that's right. Where we train you and teach you and show you and actually goes through one of these things. But Thursday I have to meet with the doctor again, and he will do the blood work to see what the levels of the cells are at this point, and whether or not they modify the injection, either speed or intensity, as to what the body is reacting to, and so it's a he said, it's a battle. The body is under a battle, and it's under a lot of stress. What they'd actually done when they began was do a echocardiogram, and it was a deeper echocardiogram because they wanted to see the strength of the heart muscle tissue because of the stress now that this is going to put on that heart muscle tissue, and in the stress in the pumping operation. So that will again along the way be measured, and they may withhold the treatment altogether for a period of time until the heart muscle can be strengthened, back up to its needed capacity. So
Mm.
it's not one of these every day is going to be the same or predictable. The course is the same. But anyway,
So if you go every other Monday, are there people that are on the same schedule as you? Like, can you make friends at the hospital?
not really. They were introducing 5 new people that morning, and mine was a later start, so some had already started. They do about, she said they will see 50 people a day. The whole clinic is doing infusions of all sorts, not just for this pancreatic cancer, which is probably the most severe that they're treating, but breast cancers are there, and all those things. Some people don't go in for the infusion. They take it in pills. There's all kinds of ways that they are putting the chemicals in. So this is the particular treatment that they found proactive or best for this particular cancer. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting. How are
But
you
I
feeling?
make friends with the nurses. They're always in there and most stuff.
I love nurses. I genuinely enjoy going to the hospital.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions, but it's kind of the same. How are you feeling right now physically, and how are you feeling right now mentally, emotionally, spiritually?
Well, physically, like I said, every day is different. Some days there's not so much exhaustion. Today was a good day, better. They said that usually by the end of the 2 weeks, you are in much better physical shape that way. They tell you not to decline activity, not to just sit around all the time to do it. So I've tried to, move around. And the other problem I have is that I have a lumbar stenosis in the back. And so that's in the same area on the back. There's pain there as well as the other. So,
So you're living the life.
yeah.
No 5Ks in the future, probably.
No. Well, they think, they've said that, these things are going to improve. So anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. How's your mind?
Oh, mine is just wonderful as far as that goes. I mean, it's like putting the brakes on things and allowing me more time to study and more time to read and pray. And,
Mhm.
I've been able to communicate with a few friends. And
Good.
so,
This is a super random, irrelevant question. I was reading through Exodus the other day. Is that where you guys came up with the piece of silver for our birthdays?
no,
No? Okay, let me
no.
find this. Because it says, when do you give that to us? Our 21st?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It says that you give it for your 20th birthday, like a piece of silver. I was like, Grandma and Grandpa found this probably. I don't know if I could find it right now, but so no, not from Exodus, but from your heart.
It's just that it's, something of value.
Yeah.
It has always had value and it
Oh,
will
found
continue
it.
to have value. Okay.
It's Exodus 30:11. Well, let me go down a little further. Each person who is counted for the census must give a small piece of silver as a sacred offering to the Lord. This payment is half a shekel, based on the sanctuary shekel. All who have reached their 20th birthday must give this sacred offering to the Lord. And I was like, maybe that's where they got the idea. But no,
But that's wonderful.
a good thought.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? What else is new? Like, I'm
So,
not sure exactly what questions to ask, but
well, it's just that, there's so many people that are, what was really interesting today was that I went to this, guy, gastronom, the stomach doctor today, and he explained things to me, and he was real encouraging. He was the one that actually got me started with to the surgeon and then to the chemotherapy, and then he went over and explained how it would work and how the process would proceed on. But what was really just unbelievable. I mean, we had never talked about anything else other than the sickness and all. And he's in the matter of retiring. He will actually be retired by the time this treatment ends. Or anyway. And so he told me about this. He told me, he wants me to stick to this and follow this pattern and do this and all that. And then he patted me on the shoulder and he said, and I'll be praying for you.
nice.
I had no idea.
Wow.
And it was just, wow. For him to admit there's more to healing than medicine
Yes.
was
Yes.
just super. So
Mm,
that was
wow.
just wonderful.
Wow, that's so encouraging.
Yeah, and I wonder if the whatever whatever the chemical doctor is for the chemo. I wondered if he is a Christian, and I intend to find out because his name is Daniel Ikazikawawa or something. He's either Haitian or
Okay.
something, but he got his training in Louisiana, whatever. But I kind of think he is, so we'll find out. But anyway, it's
I
nice
bet
to,
you're where I get that from because whenever I'm in a hospital, I'm trying to like see if I can tell if people know the Lord or not.
yeah,
If maybe that's genetic.
yeah, because I'd like
That's
to get
good
him
though.
to. I'd like to get him to admit the same thing. That there's more than chemicals to healing,
Yeah.
and it appears to be the one that would do it. So we'll see.
My favorite question to ask the nurses is I'll say, "Are you a person of faith?" Because sometimes they'll say yes, but it's like something else.
Yeah.
But it's like open-ended enough that they'll
Yeah.
answer either way. But most of the time, they're like, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yes. Wow, that's good. So who goes with you, Grandma?
Well, she goes to
Grandma?
she sat with me that first day, and she'll probably sit again for the injection part
Okay.
or infusion part, they call it. Because that's when we can ask all our questions and they'll explain
Yep.
things to us as the system progresses. I mean, they still have all these side effects that may still come into play. And it's interesting that Samantha next door, she said when we first revealed that it was cancer, she said, "What do you mean Grandpa's going to lose all his hair?" And so when they took the infusion, they strapped this or they taped this infusion device on the chest right here with all kinds of sticky tape, until you can't shower because you can't get any water under it or near it or whatever. And so then she started to pull it off. And she said, well, what you could really do in the next time around is you could shave that area there. I said, well, what difference does it make? Isn't all the hair going to come out anyway? She said, well, not really with your treatment.
Oh.
It may thin on the top, but not necessarily all your hair will come.
Oh.
These particular chemicals are different than, the breast cancer or some of the other cancers that they use. So I said, okay, that was comfort for the little neighbor girl.
Interesting, yeah. Toby in the last one, I like that he said this, but he said your cocktail of medicine. So it's like tons of different medicines mixed together, exactly what you
Well,
have.
they're in the body, they get mixed together, but when they're injected, they're
Okay.
not. There's some of them that
Oh.
have to go in with an agent, with another chemical.
Okay.
And some of them have to go in with a saline solution, and some of them have to go in, and they do steroids and all that kind of stuff. And so then they're all in these minute blocks. They're all in this time blocks. And so there's that much that goes in, and there's that much that goes in, and then, well, anyway. But it is quite a cocktail of what they build. So they give you a sheet then of what these chemicals are, and they're principally four big chemicals that they're using, and they show the effects of them and what they are. Some of them they couldn't start. The problem was when they realized that it was a cancer, they couldn't start the cancer treatment until they got in and got a biopsy of the cell structure of the cancer because of the different workings of these chemicals. Some of them attack fibers, some of them attack cells, some of them attack other parts of the cell.
Interesting.
And so that's why they had to wait for the biopsy before they could prescribe what particular treatment they were going to use. So, because it's just like not one shot cures all, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's quite a science.
Do you feel the IV when it's going in?
No,
You can't.
no, it's just that the pump that I sleep with has a little click on it every time it pumps. So that's a nuisance,
That's
but anyway.
so annoying.
Yeah. But it's got about a 6-foot hose on it, so I can set it, somewhere else. Except I roll
Nice.
over and figure I'm pinching it or something, then an alarm goes off if you pinch it. But I haven't pinched it yet, so it's run smoothly.
Maybe you could pick up learning an instrument and it can be your metronome.
Yep.
Yeah, I asked if you could feel it because when I get infusions, I can usually like smell a certain smell when it's going in, and it like feels really cold going into my arm.
Yeah.
But you don't feel anything? Oh.
There's one of them, it did have a feeling to it, but not really, not as bad as going in the arm.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's just goes, But then they watch, they come back and every 15 minutes or so, and then they'll do a blood pressure again to see whether or not this is elevating the blood pressure. And so then the one did, and so then they called the doctor back over, and he looked at it and watched it, and he said, "Well, no, that's not unusual. That this happens at this point." So
Hmm.
that's what they watch, and they tone all that, and they keep that up because those are the chemicals that would bring those immediate reactions, those 400 minutes done in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then the other one is just sort of a normal, process and not, but just to realize that the body is going to stress and doing all that is kind of what develops the fatigue. So
Yeah. So what do you do for the 400 minutes? What do you do while
you
you're
can
in
sit there and read, and you can be on your phone, or they have a television in there. You can sleep. They have some rooms where they let you lay down, take a nap during
Wow.
all of that. Yeah, so they got little snacks they bring in. It feeds you and
Nice.
stuff to drink.
Sounds pretty good.
It's Tonya said that when she took her mother-in-law to her treatments, they actually had a little spa like thing going. They did her nails and everything, in the in the room while she was
Nice.
getting the infusion.
You could get a little mani-pedi.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's a long time, 400 minutes.
Yep.
Also, how long do you want to talk for? Because I could keep going, but
Well,
I don't
as
know.
long as you need to talk, I
I'm
want
loving
to.
this.
Well, I want you to understand.
I
that
had a question. When they flush your port, how do they do that? Like, what does that look like?
It's just another injection, a saline solution that goes in the body.
And it goes like up your neck?
Yeah, into the jugular vein right here, and then it's in the bloodstream, and it will work itself out. But they don't want
Wow,
any coagulation in the tube
good word. Yep.
that goes up through up into the neck. So,
Hmm.
and it doesn't feel much anymore. It's about as big as a nickel on the surface of
Yeah.
the skin. You see it, but other than that, there's a scar over it now. And there's a scar over the other incision was way up here in the neck.
Hmm.
And they've healed. And so the
Wow.
tubes, they're actually, the whole apparatus is now under the skin. So it's sterile, and the body is cleansing it under there. So it's typically required for a chemo treatment to
Hmm.
put what they call a mini port in there to discharge it into. Otherwise, they would be doing this thing on your arm and you get a little infection and it runs the wrong thing and you get puncture wounds and band-aids, and it's too long of a process to do through the arm because it would be irritating and you could injure it easily. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Wow.
but
Um, well, how can the family be praying for you most? Obviously for healing, but are there any other specifics that
well, just you know my understanding of the side effects actually for that, there is some tendency that there could be some memory effect, and
Hmm.
that kind of things that would just, pray for clarity,
Yeah, I'm gonna write this down.
you know.
Like recall
Yeah,
or like clarity in your mind. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so I just continue what I've done, in my life, just meditate day and night. And
Mm, that's good.
I don't think that, I don't think that will be affected as much. So,
Um, anything else?
well, just that you all would continue to understand and
Mm-hmm.
continue to be fervent and your understanding, build you up as well as
Yeah.
me in all of
Yeah.
this. I don't really consider it as you know, somebody said the other day that God brought this that God brought this punishment in. Well, God did not bring this in, but he allowed it,
Mm-hmm.
Just as it was with Job. I mean, he allowed it, but he didn't bring it. He doesn't bring evil. He doesn't bring bad. He is good, and all that he does is good. That's why it means all things work together for good to those that love God, and those are called according to his purpose. So they're starting on Thursday. They're starting a genetic study because one of the uh, origins of this cancer can be genetic.
Mm-hmm.
We can have it in the family.
Okay.
And so they're doing a study to see if it's a genetic, and then then we can. They're actually doing my entire genome in this study to see what my genes and chromosomes are, and charting them. So, and in that they will discover whether or not this particular cancer gene or tendency for the gene is there. So we don't know because
Yeah.
my dad died of leukemia, which is a cancer, and Judy actually died as a result of having a melanoma cancer. And so when they saw that it was in the family, they thought, they're going to investigate to see whether or not it's genetics.
Yeah. So that's Thursday.
Well, that's just the beginning of it. I think it's a huge, long process.
Really?
I have the first interview on Thursday, so
Oh,
we'll see.
yeah.
Actually, a week from Thursday now. But it's just, the patience and the understanding and the willingness to wait on the Lord is
Yeah.
the whole issue here. So, and how are you doing, by the way?
Really good.
Good.
Yeah. I'm very thankful. Yeah.
You have visits or anything back to the doctor?
I have a scope a week from today. So I haven't had a scope since 2019. And I feel super good. So I'm really curious how they'll turn out.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's coming up.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I often think of Caleb as well.
Yeah.
How he's doing is the same point, so.
Mm-hmm.
And like
The
what I told you before, was that what my mother had always told me that, because she was certain that I had been, when I had made my confession and profession of faith, that I had been actually called by God and that there was a purpose in my life, and she would always say, God is not finished with you yet.
Mhm.
She, and that's what I tried to share with you guys. It may look like a setback, or it may look like a big difficulty or a challenge that'll break what you had it for dreams or visions or whatever, but not according to his plan. So,
Yeah. It's so good. It's all a grace somehow.
yep, those who are
Mm,
called according to his purpose. Hey,
that's good. The older I get, the more thankful I am. The more truly shocked I am at the faith in our family.
yeah,
Like it like brings me to tears if I think on it for too long, because not many people can say that this is their upbringing,
yeah,
you know? And like the Lord has been so faithful through generations of our family. And to
yeah,
see so many walking with the Lord, and like to hear you even now just talking about his character and about, I don't know. Thanks. Thanks for loving the Lord. It's the best gift.
Yep, he is. And yeah, just as it was before, that commit our way unto the Lord, trust also in him,
Mm,
and he shall bring it to pass. Who would have ever envisioned what he has accomplished through this family? And
mm-hmm.
it's just
Mm,
what he will yet accomplish.
mm,
And as again, it's not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy
mm.
and his grace. So carry on.
Carry on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank God.
indeed.